heart. Brilliant, empathetic, shining bright. Life will knock you down, but she never gives up the fight. Determined and fierce, she fights with all her might. She loves you, she says flip it around and love yourself too. Staying clutch is sometimes just so hard to do. Fight the odds every moment and never back down. Smile and follow that rainbow all the way to the ground. Tiny but mighty, she tries to gain back her weight. She fights for herself and those that she loves, making the best of the cards she's been dealt. She gives her love to you with a rose she smells. Open up your mind to a tender kindred soul. Welcome to a journey, your support is forever gold. She embraces each moment with love and care. Recovery is in her vision, she will see you there. So poop rainbows and crap unicorns, turn your lemons into lemonade. Look up and burn the clouds away, and live to fight through another day.
Hey everybody, wow, that's hard to watch. Hard to watch. I've been pondering over this whole weekend, and I had to get through this weekend, and I think I owe it to a lot of people who have been supportive over the years, and I just didn't want to leave everyone high and dry without any answers. You know, I think the situation is very heart-wrenching, you know, and I'm looking at the comments as I'm listening to that. That's basically a track that I composed for her about a year ago, and every time I listen to it, it's just you know, it's heart-wrenching, you know, and I just wanted to let you guys know that the wrench me up if necessary, right, Pink? I see that. You guys are so amazing. I've been reading all of your messages the last 2 nights, and it's been helping me get through this very hard time. And I just wanted to let you know that RaCHaeL loved each and every one of you and treated you guys like family. And I'll just say that the reason why she didn't do an update all that time, and she was on the verge of doing one, and I was actually mapping out an update for her to do, give some ideas to do anyhow. You know, here's a good layout. You can start with this and then transition into this, and you know what I mean? She likes for me to kind of map it out so then she can kind of get things in her own words and polish it up. And she felt so bad that she never got around to doing updates. But to be honest with you, it doesn't take much, but any type of you know, backlash or anything that came out negative, it was hard for her to sit through. And, I try to shield her from negative comments, but she was always just thinking of you guys, and also was waiting for her health to turn around, because every time she would post, it was like, okay, there's something else. She wanted to post something positive going on, and turning things around. And honestly, ever since about a year and a half ago, she got that IVC filter extracted and removed within that surgery. That was 3 to 4 hours, and it was just so nerve-wracking sitting outside the hospital waiting for that whole thing to go down. And she finally survived it, and she made it out. And yeah, but after she did get it, the surgery, she ended up having infections. She had to take antibiotics from the surgery, and then I'll just cut through it a little faster. I know I'm not sure if you guys have experienced loved one before. A lot of you have, of course, but I'm up here. It's like I'm emotionally strangled. People are asking me, "How are you? How are you?" I feel like I'm getting strangled. You know what I mean? Like the emotions are doing jujitsu on me. I've cried buckets the last 2 days, and I got to tell you, every time I talk about this, it's been prepping me to talk about her to you guys. So with what happened and what went down, and I just got to tell you, yeah, she had the IVC filter extracted that was installed 10 years ago, and we just didn't get the notification that it needed to be extracted, and it got lodged in her, and they got that out, and she still had couple pieces still left in her, but they said that it should be okay because it wasn't near an organ and it was in a good spot. But anyhow, she had the infections. Then she had this, what's called dysbiosis, and I tell you, RaCHaeL and her father spend so much time research and investigating, and each conversation that they ever had was always about, oh, I read this. It's always a medical, how do we get better talk, you know what I mean? And through that dysbiosis, ulcers, then she had side effects through medications. And this was during the course of all this year into last year. And she just got tired of giving updates of something else. And it just, I know you guys just want to hear, positive stuff. I wanted to see it more than anyone. I wanted to see her, oh my gosh, we're getting there. Okay. And yeah, you're right, Pink. RaCHaeL couldn't stop learning, and she was obsessing over her own recovery, which was good, and yeah, she was getting fractures. She was getting, I didn't feel comfortable with anyone else handling her physically, because it's so polished of how to lift her and shift her and everything like that. And if anyone else ended up hurting her like that, RaCHaeL, let me just do it. You know what I mean? I'm like, but yeah, so fast forward into about a couple months ago, she had an incident with home health care, her home health. I'm not going to say who it was, but there was some neglect there, and some situations that could have been handled differently, and they weren't. So we had to opt out and find someone else to work with, and it was life-threatening, and they didn't want to lose their license, and they didn't change things around. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to do a lot of research to find another company. and we were told that we had a home care doctor that was lined up, and turned out a week later that, oh, they don't take your insurance. And so, but don't worry, when I find someone else. I was like, why didn't you tell me a week ago? Now this new palliative team is telling me that, yeah, they can't do an assessment on her until next Friday, which is in another week. So I'm like, what? So I back against the wall. Someone was telling me you may have to look into doing hospice care, even if it's like a temporary thing. There isn't any curative care, but they will be like at your beck and call, helping you out with medications, anything to help her stay comfortable. And it was only supposed to be a pit stop, and it turned out to be the last couple months, but they were great. They were out there, Johnny, on the spot. Any medications you need, what do you need? And it was nice not having to always go to CVS. They would deliver. I just need to stay on top of it. Yeah, palliative care is kind of the upper level towards regular home care. They have a home, like a doctor would come out to the house, and assess things, or a nurse practitioner is what we were having, and takes care of the medications and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, it got to where she started to have closer to the current, I'm going to shift for you guys. I'm sure you guys appreciate me giving you the lowdown, right? Give me a thumbs up. My off with even doing this, because I put myself in your guys' shoes, and I was always telling Rachel that, let me just do the updates for you. And she always wanted to talk about or speak for herself. You know what I mean? And she was going to write something out, but then it was always that lingering thing that I got to do an update. And we were just on the verge. Even Friday night, I was mapping out, here's a little bullet point thing. Here's the something you can go off of if you want me. Just help you out, get you started. You know what I mean? Thank you for the thumbs up. It's part of the healing. You guys are helping me out right now. So, so she ended up having a fungal infection, and that fungal infection ended up causing thrush in her mouth, and which was making it hard to swallow. And she was getting issues with her eyes, and she was, research. You guys know Rachel. She's always researching. She whenever she meets up with you guys online, or she knows anything about you, and I can vouch for Mary, and I see you. How are you? She's always concerned about other people, Even her dad would get so irritated, like, enough about me, don't ask about me. Let's do, just take care of you, And so she had it's almost looked like pink eye, but after doing the research, fungal infections can even get into your eyes, and you got your mouth, you have other parts of your body that I won't go into detail with, but if you know what I mean, it goes there too. So she was taking this fungal medicine, and they shifted to even more times coming out with hospice home care. They did talk about the option of just going into the facility, but they were saying that due to your immune system that's weakened, your best bet is to just stay where you are. We'll come to you because you're in a comfortable area, and we'll take care of you. You know what I mean? And you need anything, just call us. We'll come right over. And they're warriors. The runners that they have, and they're like a bright light that just walks into the room. You guys, they had little capes on them, and I was like, oh, I get, the cavalry's coming. I'm getting some help. You know what I mean? And So she was getting the infection, so the doctor put her on 1 week of the fungal medicine, and so, and of course, she's doing the research on it and looking at the I'm up here, I'm strangled. So, she was taking the medication. She did the research on it, and it's saying that she had, could cause dizziness, could cause you to be lethargic, to brain fog, like all these different issues, right? So we took that, and with that in mind, and she started to have the side effects, which every medication she would have, she would even get the rare side effects because where her weakened immune system was, and I got to tell you, I have on my Google Calendar, and if you guys are caregivers, you guys are probably doing the same thing. On your calendar, I'm very strategic. I like priming, rinse and repeat. What time did we do this yesterday? Let me put in the calendar. Let me give my own self a warning. And I had her medications, her food, her everything. And then I would document everything too, like how nurses do when you're in the hospital. If you do anything, if you use the restroom, if you have, how much water did you drink, how much whatever. It was always an ongoing thing, and which made me feel good that I was staying on top of it. You know what I mean? And where are you with your medications? When were your medications delivered? When's the next delivery? And when you're on hospice, it's every 10 days. It's like 3 times a month. It's not 1 month. So you have to document, make sure this is everything aligns up right. I know you guys are like, get to the point. Okay. I'm just kind of honestly just trying to give you guys an idea of what the world is kind of like. You know what I mean? So thanks, Pete. So I'm seeing all these symptoms, and so she starts sleeping more and getting to sleep sooner. In the ultimate world, that sounds like it's a good thing. Get your rest, right? But whenever she's resting on times that you would usually be eating, Rachel, I was like, okay, I got to let her rest and get her medications, to come down, and she'll be more alert and get the sleep out of you, and I'll check on her in a couple hours, And so then, hours go by, I kind of check, and I'm always shifting her periodically. And when you shift, it doesn't have to be a big shift for, not having the bed sores. I've got to make sure that I'm always checking and shifting her hips, and it's all technique, and so I'm shifting her, and it's hard to do it while she's sleeping because I don't want to wake her up at the same time, and when she sleeps, just so you know, she said before, it's hard for her to keep her eyes closed when she sleeps. So we have this eye mask to put on her when she sleeps, and that wasn't working too well. And I said, you know what, maybe I'll just get some thin medical tape. So I put medical tape literally in half, a little sliver, and I put on her eyes to keep her eyes closed because she was saying that she's getting blurry, and that was the worst thing that she could ever even think of, was to lose her vision. And we were putting eye drops in her eyes for quite a while, and her vision was going south, and she was really scared from it. We were trying to stay on top of it, you know what I mean? And lo and behold, it was actually making things worse after research, of course, that her and father always do. So we stopped with the drops, and I ended up doing the medical tape on her eyes. Then I would put a blindfold on when she would sleep, and put the mouth guard in her mouth, so she wouldn't grind. So it's a process, I gotta tell you. So come more currently, last Tuesday, the home care nurse came to visit, and she ended up doing assessment on Rachel. And I said, yeah, I think she's really hitting these side effects from this what's called fluconazole. It's the fungal medication. Okay. Thank you for guys for being so patient. I was actually getting ready to put a bunch of pictures on, and I go, you know what? Let's just do this. I'll put one up and get going. And how do you guys like the background, by the way? It took me a while. Rest in paradise, babe. I so dreaded this day. I gotta tell you. So the nurse comes and says, Rachel said, I'm still having issues with swallowing. And the thrush, I think, is still in my throat because it was a coached situation to get her through her medication. And okay, you remember how a speech therapist was telling you, and I would do things. Maybe this is a tip for someone else out there. Or olive oil. I would roll it in olive oil, put it in, or she would put it in her mouth, do the drink. She used to do the drink, then put it in her mouth. And I always, wait, isn't it backwards? You know? And the speech therapist said, well, some people are able to do that. And I've just never done it that way. But she tried to do pill first and then swallow. And then it actually was helping, and drop your chin when you swallow, that helps too. And she would try to shift, and she had this whole routine. So anyway, her pills were more difficult to swallow, and she was sleeping more. And the nurse says, this is the part that wrecked my world. Just the comment. I never remember it. She says, baby girl, we have to test for COVID. So she tests for COVID, and I was in the hallway, and I'm like, oh Lord, you know. And just one second. Okay.
I am going.
Okay.
If you have anything, I have the phone number. Just call me anytime.
Okay.
For any reason.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay.
I'll be back.
Okay. Okay, Rachel, I know you're hearing me, but your dad is. I used to say, your dad never talks to me. He always talks to you. You're the only thing. You're like the main thing that he has in your life that you focus on. You know, that he's focused on anyhow. And okay, we don't have much dialogue. And he's about 95% deaf, and so he has to put his earpiece on to talk and all that. But he's turned into to Rachel, because Rachel would get on to me about eating healthy, and I can't lose you. I can't lose you. I go, Rachel, seriously, I have a ways to go. Yeah, you're on the brink, and you're on the edge, and this is too crazy, and you just worry about you. And I go, I know, but I just want to make sure that whenever I turn things around and I lose you, I couldn't live without you. And I was like, oh gosh. So she tests positive. And nurse is very calm about it, and was telling her what to do, what not to do. And it's good that you're getting your rest, and I know that COVID takes your smell from you and your appetite, but baby girl, we gotta make sure you're getting your nutrition in to combat everything, you know. And so I'm in the other room. Let's test again, because I don't want this to be right. You know what I mean? And so then I test a second time, and that comes out positive. I test myself. I come out negative. I haven't been sick. I don't want to talk about this person for anyone to have anything negative to think about this person, but I'll just say this anonymous person was spending time with her, and no fault of their own, would have not any idea of knowing what was in store, right? This person ended up getting sick and was sleeping more, had a cough, and didn't test. And so about COVID, as most of you would know, that maybe if you could be symptomatic before you have symptoms, and this person didn't have symptoms at the time, but was spending a lot of time with this person, with Rachel, and yeah. So there's no fault on the anonymous person. They wouldn't have known. I came negative, and I still was. I was actually, after we found out Tuesday, I was freaking out so much. She was like, you should wear a mask just because you're negative. You still need to be safe, even though, because the last thing you want to do is, you get it from her, then you give it back to her, or, anything like that. You got to stay strong. And so I did just that, and they thought it was funny at the time. My mind was so discombobulated. I put 2 masks on at the same time, and one was sideways. And you only need to wear one, And I go, oh, I didn't even know that. Inside, I'm just trying to hold it together, And so a whole week, she started to be more aware in the day, but after her usual meds at night. See, the meds that she would have at night generally would be the ones to make her feel less nausea, less pain. She would less nausea and less pain, and she would be able to get through the eating process. So she would actually pretty good. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think that she was eating good, but she generally was really pushing forward, and she was setting plans even up to, Friday afternoon. She was saying, oh, Monday, I've got to call so-and-so. Then I got to contact, she was already started. I go, Rachel, just relax, take care of you. And let's talk. We'll take care of that on Monday. Okay. So then, I was by the book on my calendar, getting notifications, making sure I was stay on point on everything. I have multiple baby monitors in the house, so even if I hear her move, because it's right by her pillow, so she's moving, then I would go check on her. She would say anything, I would go check on her. You know what I mean? And so I'll answer a lot of your questions. May have to repeat the questions that you're having in the comments, so then I can get back to it. But I'm going to finish this leading up to the current, and then I could ask other questions too. Please keep the comments respectful. At the same time, I just don't know what life is outside of caregiving for her. Been one thing or another for the past 20 years, behaviors, symptoms, everything. So anyway, I'm sorry. Just if I ramble a little bit, bear with me. I've talked to so many people and getting back to her, a lot of her closest people that she sees. I didn't want them to find out on social media. And if you did, and you were close to Rachel and you found out that way, my apologies. I tried to. It's tough. So I set the alarms on my phone, got all the notifications, and I was following protocol. I started to she lost her flavor in her for food, taste buds wise, and so I started to give her some foods that she generally couldn't eat, but she can taste. She would taste it and then have just a little, but it was just enough to give her a little bit of a, you know what I mean, stir her up. You know what I mean? And so she could eat all of her other healthier foods, of course. But I made her chocolate chip banana bread. We had a lot of bananas, and I go, maybe chocolate chip banana bread would work, and she loves that. And I made her guacamole, and fresh guacamole. Her dad buys produce, and he thinks if I buy 25 avocados, Rachel can eat 20 of them or something, and it doesn't work that way. But he just does everything he can to help out. So anyway, I'm wearing the mask. I'm following protocol. I'm sanitizing everything. And Rachel has always been very cautious of I'll just say catching any type of fluish thing or COVID to anything. And we wash the hands, brush the teeth, floss, brush the teeth, use a plaque remover. There, if she touches Toby, pets Toby a second, wash the hands again. And did you wash your hands? Can you sanitize my phone? Did you sanitize your phone? Making sure they changed her pull-ups, the chuck, and make sure. Everything. Change the sheets every 3 to 4 days. So fast forward to current Friday. Sorry. So this past Friday, nurse comes, checks her vitals. Rod, good blood pressure. Rachel doesn't want to get, she's just cautious about numbers on anything. She just tells me everything, you know what I mean? And someone's at my door, but I'm not going to cut you guys out to go answer it right now. Her nurse says the blood pressure is good. She had oxygen on her, but her oxygen was good. She had oxygen on her. Blood pressure was good. She checked her bed sores to how's this fungal infection coming along. Oh my gosh, it looks like it's like 90% healed. Everything's going good. She told she was going to talk to the doctor about maybe doing one last week just because there was something residual in her throat that was hard for her to swallow. And I don't know if COVID related alters your swallowing, and apparently it could have been that. It could have been the atrophy because of her nutrition started to fade at the same time, even though she was trying her hardest and eating in the afternoons more, even though it was just so, and she was kind of like disoriented. And I go, okay, what day? Let me think. You've been feeling these symptoms for how many days? And you probably picked it up a couple of days before you had the symptoms. So you're probably on day 6. And if it's going to last, I don't know, I think it was like 8 days. I'm not sure exactly how long, but her being so immune compromised may pushed out further than that. Trying to do the math, you know what I mean? And so anyway, the nurse comes and checks her out, and she's excited because she says everything is looking better. Your fungal infection on your body is healing up, less in your throat. And she starts to hear her lungs. The lungs sound clear. They used to sound like an old, what'd she say, like an old man snoring or something like that. And so she leaves thinking everything's making a turnaround. Oh wow, she's getting through this. And I'll just tell you what I told Rachel on Thursday is I tell you what, if you get through COVID, get through this fungal infection, start really turning things around, we get back to palliative care, you downgrade and go to home health, and then you get to where you just end up able to walk, and then you're able to physically go into the doctor, because she hasn't had the ability to even, she's been bedside for quite some time, and I pick her up and down and help her with everything she needs. I'm going to burn all my pants, and I'm not going to wear pants anymore. And you can wear the pants in this relationship officially. And when it's cold outside, people are going to be saying, why doesn't that guy ever wear pants? And I was like, you know what? You can have them. I'm intimidated. You can have them for here. She thought this was the funniest thing. And I know a part of her mind is saying, I think I wear the pants, even though I don't even like to wear pants. So anyway, we have to always kind of use a little bit of dark humor or just to liven things up. She loves comedy, so I ended up watching a lot of a comedy there towards the last 3 weeks or so of nighttime bedtime watching. And so anyway, I keep on veering off, guys. I did. So the nurse walked outside and she says, wow, okay, she's doing great. And then she always leaves saying, I just love coming to visit her. She just brightens my night. And she's always asking about me, which is not a normal thing for someone to do. That's especially in hospice, getting ready to officially check out, to ask how the nurse is doing and what have you been up to? Have you, if you guys all, some of you have had, I'll just say it, the opportunity to physically meet her. And if you live in our neighborhood and you're watching, and you probably met her years ago or whenever she was able to get to the jacuzzi, and she meets somebody for the first time, I sit back and I just take it all in, and I just love on how well she articulates and talks about the person, and it's all about them. You know what I mean? I just miss that. I just so she the nurse says, things looking good, and she tells me later that, Rod, I went back to the home health, talked to the charge nurse, the head leader of your group, and was even talking about palliative care of we may need to start talking about, shifting her after the next few weeks, and already started to strategize, so later Friday night, I'll get to the point here. Okay. Don't leave me now. Come this far. It's taken me a long time to get this far. So, and for those of you who have been sticking around all this time, I thank you for being a friend. And I'm viewing this as I'm just telling a friend what happened. You know what I mean? That's why I kept on telling myself I'm just talking to friends. So it's okay. There's no judgment here, So Friday night, she's eating more than usual. Stayed up longer than usual, which also was a good sign. I can't stop my leg from shaking. She goes to sleep probably about 1:15, 1:30. I didn't get to sleep that night until close to 5 and 5 in the morning. And, because I generally, I guess it's nervous tension, but I also have a bit of the ADHD of hyperactivity. And it makes me feel better whenever I'm stimulated, so I'm always like, doing something. And so I just, I end up,
I forgot to had to come back for this.
oh, sorry.
I just didn't want you to get scared out.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's her dad. He's I'll tell you later, but he's going to take care of himself. So that's a surprising turnaround that he's been able to hold himself together, and he's going to the gym. So he goes this time at night. So anyhow, Friday night I get to sleep late because my mind's buzzed, and I'm always trying to strategize and prime and what to do next, making sure all the ducks in a row. Checking her oxygen before she goes to sleep. Do I need to put oxygen on her while she sleeps? Do I need to shift her? Do I? A lot of things ramble around in my mind. I take her temperature. Even the Friday night, I mean, all of her vitals were good. Ate better Friday night. I was going to wake her up when I got up, and it was close to about 10 o'clock. And whenever she gets to sleep early like that at night lately, she would just get up probably around 7, 8 o'clock, and then she would polish off what was left that she didn't eat of her staple meals, and she didn't wake up at 8, and I was just waiting. Usually, she was having to prop the back of her bed up, tilt it, and I actually sleep with my feet where the head is, and so I'm kind of like diagonal, you know what I mean? And so she would usually say, and my ears are so sensitive to anything that she would say, and I generally would just wake up. I was like, yeah. And then when she says anything, I instinctively think that she needs to use, I don't want to say too TMI, but usually means I need help. Something's going to happen. Give me to the commode. I'll just say it. So I just get up and I just say, yeah, what's up? What do you, and if it's in a verbal one, then she would just touch my leg and just shake my leg a second, and I'd be up. I'm like the Minute Man, you know what I mean? Anything. If she wants to get up and hang out for 3 hours and eat, let's do that. I'll break if I had a plan with anyone, I'll just tell them we'll talk to them later. You know what I mean? And so she didn't wake me up. And I thought it was going to be about 8 o'clock, and I didn't want to set an alarm because I didn't want my alarm to wake her up. You know what I mean? And so she doesn't wake me up. I wake up on my own, and I'm thinking, oh, wow, it's 10 o'clock. She slept a little longer. And 10 o'clock, I got to tell you, for years, I always look at her chest just to make sure it's right. It's raising and it's moving to make sure she's breathing. And I didn't see it raising quite then. Then I grabbed her hand and I was like, babe. I was getting ready to tell her, like I've said before, you got to stop doing that. You scared the crap out of me that time. And usually she would, go and just, and just, that's when I would say it. I go, you got to stop doing that. She didn't budge. I get up, I go around the bed, and I take her mouth guard out of her mouth. And I had to pry it out of her mouth. That was the sign. And my mind just already went there like, yeah, this has never happened before. And I had to pull the mouth guard out of her mouth. I had to check to see if she was breathing. And she had already passed. And she was cold, her hands, her feet. It was already for sure that she was gone. There was no reviving. There was no nothing. I was going to think maybe I should just call 911 to see if there's something there, but she has already started to, yeah. I wanted her dad to have the moment first and then call 911 because I checked everything. It was way too late. And she passed in her sleep, and she had been out for quite a few hours. And I dreaded for one to have that happen, for two to have to tell her father. And her father, I would usually wake him up with a smile. This time I jerked his legs to wake him up, and he can't hear. And so I jerked his legs, so then he woke up fast because I didn't have time to go back and forth to wake him up. So I was more frantic, and then he looks at me. What's wrong? What's wrong? That's Rachel. So yeah, I'll go. Come. And he usually would grab his mouthpiece or his ear monitor to amplify the hearing so he could hear me. He didn't. He just knew, and I just waved for him to come down. He comes down, and that's a moment that I don't ever want anyone else out there to have to live through. It was just heart-wrenching. Then as he was, trying to do what he can, and he was saying that her chest, it's still warm. It's still warm. I go, it's the last thing to stay warm, and no pulse, no breathing, no air. There's no nothing, and I was just. It's like the unexpected expected. It's like, well, yeah, of course he was gonna. You know what I mean? But it's like Rachel was making plans. Guys, there was never a time. There was sometimes a momentarily, I'll say that, but it was only for a moment. It was very fugacious. It was very fleeting moments that something would happen. She was, I'm going to give up. But it would just, and then she would snap out of it and say, yeah, and then she'd problem solve in her mind and fix it. And then she would be back on course. You know what I mean? But she just never gave up. She didn't, her body gave up, and she was making plans to get we were already in process to get a power wheelchair to get her to the outside so she can see the squirrels, so she could see just the outside environment, because I would open up the back, and then I would turn you guys see me post my background on Facebook. All that is the environmental stuff. It's on YouTube. I would say, where do you want to go today? Where do you want to go? And so I would turn that on, and she wouldn't be able to have, peace with her mornings. And anyhow, I called 911, let them know what happened. They called the paramedics, the fire department comes, and trauma-informed care came. Everyone was there, coming in and out. I'm still like in numb shock, disbelief, thinking that this has to be some type of wild dream that I'm having, and this isn't real. Just numb, and if she thought it was going to be that close and it was going to be it, she would have mentioned priming me for whenever she wouldn't be here. And she didn't plan on going anywhere. I was talking to Jim. I go, me and, I take care of everything outside of the finances, outside of any business related anything, and she's just brilliant. You guys all know. And she's one of one. I was telling Jim, I go, how did you, of all people, make a daughter like that? Yeah, she just never gave up. And I think that she wants you guys all to know, whatever battles that you are facing, just remember, just never give up. I was telling her, whatever happens, I'm going to look at how hard you battled through what you went through. And I am never giving up on anyone or anything or question my abilities. And just do it. Get yourself out there. Just do it. Don't be your own worst enemy of thinking that you can't do something when it's right in front of you. Even whenever you fail, it's a win because you know what you got to change to make it right. You know? So, calling her mom. Yeah. Calling your sister. Fortunately, they were at the same place at the same time. Calling them was another just, I'm not sure what I said last week. I said something like, hey, I got some bad news. And then their mind always goes there, and I something like that. And it was something much more mild than Rachel, you know what I mean? But I called them and I said, guys, this is a phone call that I have that I've dreaded for a long time. We should have lost her 2013 when she had liver, kidney, heart failure. She was on the brink. That conversation with her mom and sister was that was just a hard one. And they were shocked they had to travel to get to the house. Even made it worse is that they had to hit traffic on the way there. And I'm trying to push out the team not to do anything with Rachel until her mom gets there too, and for them to spend the time because that's going to be the last time that they're going to have. So I'm pushing out the time. So so her mom gets there, her sister gets there, and we all collectively, she spends the time with her, and I start combing her hair, which I also do at night before she goes to sleep. Then I massage her neck, and then she's out, make sure everything's good. So I start combing her hair after they spend some time, Rachel's hair, and as I usually do, and I got to comb her hair one last time. It's but the head of the bed towards the back of the room, and where the sliding door is. So I start combing her hair, and then I thought, her mom's name's Sheila. I said, Sheila, why don't you want to comb her hair? And you go, oh my gosh, Rod, I haven't combed her hair since she was a child. She never sits down long enough for me to comb her hair. So she combs her hair, and she has that moment with her, which I thought was really special, that she did in the French braid, and she was telling Rachel to her while she was there, you have more hair than I do. We were trying to spend some quality moments with her. And then what happened after she combs her hair, she goes to the front, and this may have actually happened before she combed her hair. Time frame is a little sideways with me, but she goes and kisses her on the cheek, and then she looks at Rachel's face. And Rachel's mom says, oh my God. I said, what? I go, what? I mean, my mind's like, okay, what now? I'm is this not enough? She says, she's smiling. She's smiling. She says, she saw Jesus as she left, as she was vacating. She was not in pain. She literally, I didn't notice it because my mind is like on so many other different things. I'm trying to console the whole family and take care of, oh man. And sure enough, I'm not going to obviously show you. It wasn't like a big obnoxious smile, but it was like a smirk. It's like a little. It was it was a very apparent smile that she had on her face. There was no way it wasn't fabricated in her mind, like, oh, maybe we thought, but it was literally a smile. And I said, I didn't realize that. And that happening, that moment, made it all kind of make it okay that it was her time. And I stopped rewinding my mind. What did I do different? I mean, she took her potassium. It was everything was on point. Everything. And that moment that she's smiling, and I kept on going back into the room, just looking at her smile, just softened my heart. And I just knew that she was in a good place. Yeah. And so we go outside. I'll say collectively, but now we got to talk about things that we don't want to talk about. You know what I mean? So we start talking about, okay, well, let's figure out, what's going to happen in the next couple of days. I was like, you know what, they're gonna come take Rachel. We know where she's going to be. I'm going to call on tomorrow, which was Sunday. I'll strategize it, and I'll run everything by you guys before any actions taking place. After everything was peaceful, I don't know if you would call it peaceful, but I mean, once we were done talking, guys, and this isn't like something, it's like from a movie, okay? A monarch butterfly comes in, left wing, goes by Rana, and it floats towards Sheila, goes like right in front of my face. And then the butterfly goes towards Jim, and then he looks at it. We all just, the heck, never happened before ever. And then just flies away. And then Sheila goes, that's Rachel. I was like, oh my gosh. So many things happened like this. If I didn't go in just detail sharing all this stuff with you, I would never have lived with myself thinking like, man, how many people would have appreciated to know what happened rather than, a lot of times like, I wonder what happened, but I don't want to ask. You know what I mean? You don't say, your dad passed. What happened? Tell me. Like, it's a sensitive, so it's always safe to just say we give our condolences, and then followed by, if there's anything you need, let me know. We'll be there for you. And then give honor to the person that they're such a sweet person. They were what they did in my life. Here's a story. You know what I mean? But they're not going to say how to go down. You know what I mean? And I felt that. And nobody was really asking. And I felt, even on Saturday night, I was going to do something Saturday night. Then I said, you know what, I'm just let this kind of, I need to be in the moment, and I need to process this, at least for this weekend. And I said on Sunday when I woke up, I said, I'm going to open up the garage, and for any of our community where we live, there's such supporting neighbors, and we're very animate of, we make sure everyone is, we just know a lot of people. We'll just say that. And there's a lot of love on the street. And all the kids call me Mr. Rod, which I never said. My name is Mr. Rod. I never said that, but this little kids just, hey, Mr. Rod. It's just a beautiful thing. So I open up the back, and I invite neighbors to come by, and he gave me the opportunity to voice what happened on Saturday morning. And so in my mind, I said, I need to maybe practice talking about what happened, because when it's routine, And then it's a lot easier to get your memory back of what happened. And I got to tell you, I probably told this similar situation more in detail with you guys than anybody I've told, just so you know. And I know you're saying I should hope so because it's been an hour now and you're finally finishing up your story. So I told everyone what went down, and it was practice for me. Then I called anyone that I could think of that was close to Rachel, told them. And every time I told a story, my mind goes to that moment of those things happening. And I can't not be, I can't just put the face on, I want them to feel what happened, so I've got to tell them what happened too, because I think that it's important. Because Rachel had no idea of the impact she has on people because she didn't think of herself. She thinks about you guys. And if you guys ever got close to her, she's going to know a lot about you, She wants to learn. She wants to know about you, and she's going to take notes in her head. So when she sees you again, she's going to ask you. Right, Marianne? I'm looking at you right now. She's going to ask you, following up your last conversation, and a lot of times she'll remember, even if it's been months and months or maybe even years, she's saying the person, she would remember their conversation, and she would ask, so how was your vacation? How was your knee? How was your, and just go on and on. I go, Rachel, how do you remember this stuff? And I go, and she goes, I just care about people, and when you care, it's easy to remember. You know what I mean? It's like when you learn something, if you love it, it's easy to remember it. You know what I mean? Because, someone up there, I can't see the name, but saying you can't sugarcoat it. Yeah. So pretty much that's kind of how it all happened and how it went down. Excuse me, guys. It's funny. God's looking after me right now because I didn't even plan on needing tissue, and I'm looking over. I didn't even know I put it here. Look, much tissue there. I'll go, voila. So if you guys end up going out tomorrow and you see a butterfly, that somehow Rachel planned to visit you. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, just keep your eyes out because that butterfly, she wants you guys all to fly as and flourish as she did. She is, I should say too, and she, when I moved down to Orange County, I came down to Orange County when I was 23 to find myself. I didn't have a true mentor to guide me through life. I searched out certain people to help do that, and I just didn't find what was needed for whatever reasons. And when I met Rachel, she not only helped me, she didn't only just captivate me with her eyes while I was in the gym, but she captivated me by her genuine intrigue and curiosity of people and learning, and just her mind. I used to tell Rachel that she's so smart and brilliant that you have 2 A's in your name. You know that, right? And she never thought of it that way. I said, your name is spelled with 2 A's. You got another A, But once I met her, and even, I hate to say it, a lot of the people that I've, dated, even though if we're boyfriend, girlfriend, it feels like we're still kind of dating. I didn't feel the connection until she came into my life. She allowed me to learn who I am, and the I am that I didn't know who I was. And though she helped me with my fitness boot camp, it came to an idea. I had no idea about business. She helped me with that. She helped me with my being a peer-to-peer specialist, talked me into getting into that class. So now I'm a peer-to-peer specialist. Hey, do you want to be a healthcare first aider? Sure. She talked me into going back to school, to college, which I did for a short period of time, and then I just it just wasn't in me to have that much of a commitment towards that, and so I kind of veered out. But she took a psychology course for me and said, "I'll just take it for you." I was kind of doing it with her, but I took the first test. Okay, I get a B- or something like that. She's like, "We're not getting B's." She didn't have it. That was like an F, you know. And I was like, yeah, for me, I used to get C's. This is great. I'm doing good. You know what I mean? So she would, help take the class with me, and then we'd get some A's. But I'm just saying my sobriety, you guys know about my sobriety. She helped me with my sobriety. October 8th will be 2 years sober from alcohol. Yesterday, 17 months, I'll call it sober, from marijuana. I would smoke before I would engage in a lot of things. I would smoke for 30 years, and it was a way of it was part of the culture where I grew up in, and it was my way of connecting with friends, peace pipe and all that. And it was trying to find yourself, you know what I mean? And you want to be around friends, and it was like the thing to do. And I got to where I didn't want to put myself or Rachel or anyone else in danger. That was the last thing I wanted to do. Thank you, JC, on the sobriety. And so she helped me with my sobriety. And my Uncle Frank, who had passed earlier this year of Alzheimer's, I didn't want to lose my cognition, and I wanted to recharge my brain. I wanted to be stable with my emotions. I didn't want to have the morning anxieties. I didn't want to have the fear. I didn't want to have depression, and didn't realize that's what happens. And I haven't had a life without it, And I won't go into my life story or anything like that, but I've had a lot of trauma. And but Rachel helped me with my sobriety. There isn't, she bought us a house at one time, and we weren't even married then, And she helped me get my truck. Anything that I struggled with, she was there to help me with. But then she would make sure that I knew how to do it for myself too. So she was not like enabling me to do things, but she was like, we're winning, So yeah, when you meet someone like that, you don't just let them go. You battle for them as much as they would battle for you. If you guys listening need help, have no one else to turn to, I'm going to have a support chats I'm going to do, and I'll let you guys know about privately. And I'm going to also I'm trying to think of what to do with this channel, to be honest with you. I was thinking about that last night. And I don't want to just fold it, don't want to just cancel it. I don't want to just let it drop off. And Rachel wouldn't have wanted that. And again, we don't have those talks because she didn't have any in her mind that she would ever go anywhere. But I'm going to post some past videos. I'm going to post on this channel to keep it moving. I may even give me some thumbs up if this is a good idea, guys. Okay. Just so you know, Pink, I'm also linked this live also on Facebook, and it should be actually going on Facebook now. If you guys are on Facebook watching this, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you could. Any Facebookers out there? Maybe this is only linked to YouTube. If not, I'll I'll share this to YouTube, but I had linked it on my stream to also Facebook. But here's the idea. Give me some thumbs up if this is an idea, and I'll start wrapping it up because I know you guys have other stuff to do. Chat groups, videos of that not yet seen footage of Rachel. Also, I may end up doing like a Q&A as I'm painting, and I have been painting. That's another thing. Everybody's on YouTube. Maybe this didn't go to Facebook. I thought it was linked together. Maybe I've got to put it on Facebook. Anyhow, yeah. You guys liking the idea of I'm gonna paint. Before I would only pay for an hour or two, where else I'd have to get up super early before Rachel was up. Then I'd hear the monitor go off, and I would know, okay, paint time over. But I am on Facebook. So Patricia, you guys are on Facebook. Thumbs up. Okay, it is linked on Facebook. Okay, I see a lot of YouTube. Anyhow, that's another thing. If you guys have any ideas of what you'd like to see on this channel moving forward, please let me know. What is your YouTube? It's that was another question I had too, but I think I'm just gonna leave it for now until we think of another name. It's RaCHaeL'S Road to Recovery, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. The name of the RaCHaeL'S Road to Recovery. Not sure about keeping it in the future, and for now, I'm not touching it. You know what I mean? Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm still pondering, and I'm taking ideas from you guys too. I may just leave it, but maybe call it Rachel's Story or Rachel's. All I know, guys, is I'm looking to. She recovered in heaven. Yeah, exactly, Marianne. She's still recovered. I hate to say this, a little jealous that she got there before me. I'm still in just disbelief. I got to tell you, sometimes I'm just anyhow. I'm going to leave it for now. As is. I'm not going to touch anything. And so I want to mention too, I strategized. I ended up going to make arrangements, and arrangements. I don't even like that word unless you're going to go out for dinner. That's it's not a word that you'd want to use very often, especially. I met up with the mortuary today and strategized everything, packages and all that, and contacted the it's hard for me to even talk about this. Contacted the memorial site, figured out a day and time, and just going through all of this. It's just mind-blowing. And especially with their dad there, just get anything. Let's get out of here. He doesn't care. You know what I mean? Just do the best. Do what, it's, yeah. Just, he was leaning on me just to make sure that I was making better decisions on what Rachel would have wanted, because it's hard for him to make those types of decisions, and I go, let's go with white, ivory white. And we end up bedazzling it in one way or another, I was thinking maybe like a unicorn type of thing, you know what I mean? Because she would have loved the pastels. And so, and then we do have a date, and I'm inviting, we're going to just be at the burial site. And we're not having a huge service, meaning like inside of a church, a big thing. And family didn't want to, her dad just wants to get through it because he so I it hurts too much. And it's just, you know what I mean? This is just get the situation going, get through it. You know what I mean? It's so sorry. I'm all gross. Sorry about that. So, Friday, August 8th, 11 o'clock, and I'll get the obituary and I'll have it online to view. You guys are all welcome. Okay. I think Rachel would have loved to have people who were able to be there. And if you can't make it, I'm going to talk to somebody that can do a live on it. And we may just end up posting it here too. Okay, guys? Anything I can do on my end for you guys, because you guys are who saved her life. In 2015, when I talked her into telling the story. Rachel, because it was just me and her. Nobody, you know what I mean? And just trying to fight with her. And what did Chris say? Oh, Rachel remembered. I like that, Chris. That's good. R&R. You know what I mean? I like that. Give me a thumbs up if you like Chris's idea. If you have another idea, throw that down too. I think what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do anything for months. Keep in mind, I'm talking about the name of this channel, Rachel's Road to Recovery. Because I want to do, I want Rachel's legacy to move forward, and her legacy is raising awareness, how to help others, educate others, so we could change the system, change the stigma. When someone says eating disorder, they go, "Oh, that must be tough." Not, "Oh, just get over yourself, have a cheeseburger, stop doing it for attention." This situation is much more detailed and much more layered than anyone could ever imagine. It's not, hey, just get over yourself, you know? Of course, in the beginning, it could start off very innocent. Oh, it's not going to happen to me. She never thought it would happen to her, you know? But I'm going to do what I can to advocate on her behalf. It'd be wrong if I didn't, in my opinion. And I don't want to. I just want to say is it's my my destiny to leave my own mark on the world. My mom told me, not only because my grandfather's name is Marcus, but the night before she gave birth to me on New Year's Eve, 1963. I'm just kidding, 73. The pastor said that your son's gonna leave a mark on this world, and that's what she always told me. Like, she says, don't do what other people do. You do you. Rachel was one of one. And she taught me to stay curious. Don't worry what other people think. Don't worry if you do it live on Facebook or YouTube at the same time. Just because you've never seen it done before doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. So I'm going to do my best to carry her legacy. And I'm going to do my best to be the best advocate that I can be on her behalf. You tell me what you need, okay? And we're going to all collectively, as warriors that everyone is, help everyone else, okay? Let me help you guys do that with keeping this channel alive, being available. I'll run the chats publicly and even privately, of course. I'll let you know the dates. Some of you know me. I also not only paint, but I've been playing the bass guitar, and I'm getting into music. And I have what's called a art music. I'm sorry, art and music meetup. So what this is what we do. I'm just let you know. It's not a big plug, but Sundays and Thursdays, 1 o'clock online, and it's private. If you want to be a part of it, I'm not doing it anytime soon again, but probably another couple of weeks to a month or something like that. It all depends. But if you want to have some companionship whenever you're working on your craft, it could be playing music, it could be painting, it can be drawing, it could be whatever your craft is. And if there's room and you just want to go in and spectate for a while and just watch it, what everyone else is doing, you can do that too. But in the beginning, the first 20 minutes or so, we just check and see how everyone is. Any issues, any projects you're working on, anything's going down. And then at some point we say, all right, guys, good talking to everyone. We're going to go for free paint time. And we have either music we'll listen to that's already all put together, or just turn something on, and we just have silent, no conversation, maybe marginal, whatever, but it's not back and forth conversation for 30 to 40 minutes. And then at the end, we wrap up and we all share our projects and we talk about the process and how they feel about with what they just did. And it helps to inspire other people to stay on course with it, and I look forward to doing it. And we have some people on board that nude painting. So, and then, sometimes we have a musical guest who will play music the whole time while we're painting. So that's always fun too. So if you play music, or else if you have any artistic talent or even no talent, there's no judgment, art and music are both, oh my gosh, Charlotte, she took the words out of my mouth. Music and art are so healing. Yeah, they both are. So this is a part of the recovery channel. Okay. Recovery for us. I mean, that's why I do it, So anyhow, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up, and I'm going to play this song that I had produced for Rachel, and I'll play it again to end it all out. I didn't have a recording artist sing it, and I'll just admit that I did go through AI about a year ago, and but I wrote it all out. So put a lot of thought into it, and Rachel loves it. She loves the voice, and maybe I'll get an actual artist to sing it one of these days. So thank you guys. You guys will have information that I'll post. Did you guys we'll turn this into a mild Q&A. Give me a thumbs up if you want me to continue with the Q&A. I know we're getting into it, almost an hour and a half talking. I say we, right? I want to say thank you guys. Oh my gosh, this has been so helpful for myself to talk through this, to get this out, and healing. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes you guys want to continue. Okay, we'll continue for a little while. Okay, because either one of two things: either if you have a question, or else if you have a story. Okay, and now if you have a story, I'm going to post it so everyone else can read it. Okay, I'm forewarning you; I can read it too. So, if you have a situation that Rachel has helped you out with at all, or anything you want to say about her, I could post it. Or any questions or anything, and we can answer a couple before we bounce out. Okay, and I'm glad we have 106 of you. Hey, what's up, guys? So otherwise, I'm gonna end up having somebody get care of yourself as well. I know this is taking care of myself right now, and I actually Thank you, Molly. I rode my bike yesterday, and I'm taking Toby out, my dog, and I went on a jog a little bit earlier today, and I'm not doing weights or anything, but I'm working on my own personal recovery, and obviously I've had some people to contacting me to make sure that I was staying on board with my sobriety, because something that was devastating like this could be a good excuse. So I've been definitely keeping my sobriety moving forward. Karen, so Rachel Remembered. I think I'm getting a lot of Rachel Remembered. Okay, I want to mention something lastly, because I was asking about donations. I have been, some of the people have been bringing that. I just want to tell you, we had such an overflow of donations when we first did this, looking for help to get Rachel recovered and give her a place to go. And I was initially opposed to it, because I was like, man, they've helped us out financially so much. I'm a little bit freaked out, because I am we lived on Rachel's disability and also her, the caregiving income. And one of my neighbors says, I want to do something for you. Hope this is okay. She sets up a donation campaign for Rachel's to help pay for Rachel's medical bills and everything, and for just the service and everything for Rachel. And I've been kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do for income. But I still have to pay rent. So I just don't want to take it taken the wrong way. Like, oh, here he goes again. You know what I mean? I don't want to have. I just hate the. You know what I mean? I just don't like the. I don't know. I think people are hurting, and so they just want to get online and hurt people. And I don't like people outgiving me. It just gets me. There's this beautiful lady named Lori Keene that sends cards to Rachel on any occasion that she can think of that comes up. Even Ike's, it's been a couple years since Ike had passed, our dog, and she sends us a card about Ike, even, and Valentine's Day, all these cards that she sends out. Like, she's a card person. And I was like, you know what? After 2 years of getting these cards from people, from her specifically, just because it's an overwhelming thing, I've got to paint her a project. This is crazy. So I spent some time, and if you guys ever saw the flamingo that I did, 2 flamingos, I'll put it in the comments later on, but I had to paint her something, and I want to do whatever I can do to match the love provided towards us. I don't want it one-sided. So that's the reason. If there's, I'll keep this thing going, and I'll put the link up, but just let you know, I'm working for you guys. I'm here to help. If you guys want to reach out to me on the side, message me. Anything I can do to help you guys out, because that's what I'm here for. We're all here to help others, because you get everything back tenfold, and you get a blessing by helping. It's not always the person who gets the help gets the blessing. You get blessed by helping out, helping people out. That you guys are my blessing. And yeah, Rachel's recovery remembered. I don't know. We have some time to think about it. I'm not going to do anything to the name right now, and I'll put up like maybe a voting poll or something too, if there's any other ideas. But I like Rachel Remembered. That's a good one. I just want to move forward and advocate for her too. Okay. Thank you, Stacey Pulver. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Yeah, Marianne's talking about Rachel's her unicorn stickers on her little porta potty little thing. That anyway. Sorry, I've been rambling. It's been such an emotional roller coaster for me. You have no idea. I've cried buckets. You guys have all helped me get through this by staying on board and fighting through this with me. And if you came in late and didn't catch what happened, you may have to re-listen to it. And also, please subscribe to Rachel's Road to Recovery channel on YouTube. Like and subscribe. I don't know if you got to click a bell to get notified for upcoming videos or not, but you can do that too. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube doing all this. But yeah, we're going to keep it rolling. Okay. I'm going to take care of myself. Thank you. We're just going to move forward together, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm going to go eat. I'm going to be very happy that I did this today, And so thank you for listening. I won't keep you guys any further because I know you got to go check the kids. Get some rest, you guys. I'll give you updates and notifications and everything on everything that comes up. And hopefully you can stick around and help me process through this, please. I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to finish with this, guys. I love you guys all, and I'm going to respond to all of your comments. I'll go back and listen to all of your what happened. Okay. One last thing has helped me is I just want to throw it out there. If you guys, there's been over 400 videos that I had produced for Rachel. I started to do it last night, and I feel like she's still with me whenever I'm watching her on video, and that's available too. You could watch some videos and stuff. So I love you guys. I'm going to start to post more pictures, more videos that have never been released of Rachel to keep it moving. Stay inspired. Be good to one another. And I'm always there for you guys, okay? I love you so much, and thank you for sticking around and listening to me get some therapy through you guys. So God bless, and you guys have a good night. And I'm going to close with her Unicorn Warrior song. I love you, Rachel. I pray for you every day, and dear Lord Jesus, I pray for everyone who was on board with me today, that you protect them and their loved ones. And I just pray that you just put a blanket of love and protection on all of their souls. So please protect us all and help us to get through this. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
She's a unicorn warrior with a helper's heart. Brilliant, empathetic, shining bright. Life will knock you down, but she never gives up the fight. Determined and fierce, she fights with all her might. She loves you, she says flip it around and love yourself too.
Love you guys.
Staying clutch is sometimes just so hard to do. Fight the odds every moment and never back down. Smile and follow that rainbow all the way to the ground. Tiny but mighty, she tries to gain back her way. She fights for herself and those that she loves, making the best of the cards she's been dealt. She gives her love to you with a rose.